What's up, everybody? I'm John Middlekauff. You know what I need you to do. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We got content for days reacting to every NFL game all the time, every single day. Subscribe, like the videos. Let's go. You know, 10 years ago, I think the Belichick-Lombardi thing would have been viewed a lot crazier than it is now because of the economic, financial, transaction element of college football and the transfer portal. Even though it's a lot different than free agency, there are some similarities. You know all these coaches, you know all these coordinators, and you know a lot of these GMs. What's the buzz on that operation in that program? Because one, from a talent standpoint, Bill could overachieve with guys because he had Tom. In college, like you play Clemson, you play whoever is good. Even, TCU, I'm sure, has a lot of talent week one. Like, if you don't have the talent in college football, you can be a lot of great coaches have not won a lot of games in tough conferences and against good teams because this is not the NFL where there's a lot of equality from guy to guy looking across, the white lines at each other.
I think their fundamental struggle there is going to be acquisition and retention. So the two core pillars of building a college football team right now. And the reason I mention those in comparison to what he did in the NFL is because you're right. Like broad strokes purposes, there's some similarity in college football today in the NFL. It is night and day different. The Sunday game versus the Saturday game is night and day different. You asked what the buzz is. I'm telling you, most coaches in the ACC think he's going to fail. Most coaches in the ACC think he's going to fall flat on his face, and it's not because they don't respect him as a coach. Quite the opposite. I've had 0 personnel people, 0 staffers in the ACC trash Bill Belichick, the NFL coach. What they've said is sort of an insult to read all these headlines and hear about how this guy and his team are going to come in and show college football something, because the way they look at it, college football is about to teach Bill Belichick and his staff many more lessons than they're going to teach college football. So I want you to think about the dynamic here. Number one, if you could convince me that the expectation for Bill Belichick is to just do what North Carolina's always done, I would stop talking right now. He can do that. He can win 7.5 games. I've got no doubt about that. I don't think, nor do I believe you think, they paid him $10 million a year to come in and just do what North Carolina's always done. So very clearly, the insinuation in the room, the unspoken, is he's going to have us contending for a playoff spot next couple of years. Okay, I don't believe that's true. You've got to go acquire the talent. So if you're going to compete for playoff spots above and beyond just winning 7.5, that means you're not beating Louisville and Maryland for talent anymore. That means you've really got to go head-to-head with Clemson and Florida State and Miami. You've got to be more attractive a destination than they are. All right, that's the first thing that's hard enough. The second thing that's hard is you got to retain. So what you were able to build in New England and the culture and the root system that was able to take in New England was because there were no exit doors on the facility. Once you're a New England Patriot, you're a New England Patriot. You're not going anywhere. There's an exit door in every room in college football, figuratively. Guys don't like the way they're being treated. Guys don't like the tough love. I'm not advocating for this. I actually hate that this is the dynamic, but they can leave anytime they want to. And also there's that pesky 20-hour-a-week rule where you're trying to install, dude, and you're trying to run this kind of defense and that kind of offense, and someone comes in your ear and says, Bill, we can't keep them any longer. We've maxed out our hours that we can have these guys in the facility this week. Well,
is that followed, though?
It is followed. It is at places like North Carolina. It's followed more than certain other places. Following the rules sometimes can bite you in the ankles a little bit. So I hear these people who keep telling me, well, he'll succeed in the college football game because it's the right time, because college is like the NFL now. I think college football is about to deal a very harsh lesson. And ironically, if they do get it done, this year may be their shot because they got the most workable schedule they'll probably ever have as long as he's there.
You don't need to sink a 30-foot putt to score big this weekend. Just fire up the DraftKings Sportsbook app and take your shot at the green, the kind with dollar signs. Whether you're a diehard golf fan like myself or just in it for the Sunday drama, DraftKings has everything you need to make the round a little more exciting. Live bets, prop plays, and odds boosts. Here's the thing. Are you new to betting on golf? You can bet on the winner. You can bet on a guy to top 5. You can bet on a guy to top 10. My bet last week, I'm going to roll over again. I got Scotty to win, and I parlayed that with Tommy Fleetwood and Ben Griffin, 2 top 10. I think if you want to have a little action on Scotty, he was 1 missed putt away from being in the playoffs. We know Fleetwood's not going to win, but he's going to be in the mix. Ben Griffin is hot right now. One other guy, Cam Young. So between Cam Young, Tommy Fleetwood, and Ben Griffin, I like those guys to top 10, and I think Scotty Scheffler gets it done. So any sort of combination with those guys this week, I'm fired up on. Take your swing at winning some dough this week. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code JOHN. That's code JOHN for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. There's also a generational gap of, listen, coaches, one thing that keeps you young, and you see it with Pete Carroll, you see it with Bill, is you're around young people, and even when you get in your 70s, Saban was the same way. There's a youthful energy. But you told a story on the show, you posted it on your social media about a guy in a competition to win a Power 4 starting quarterback job, and he just can't stay off his phone. That because he's quarterback, it's it's a sexy thing to say, but he cannot be alone. There got to be people all over the country in positions that are 18, 19 freshmen that this phone, and listen, we're all guilty of it, could just not put it down. And you're not talking about like in the training room, you're talking about in the meeting when they're coaching them up, right? So how's Bill? I mean, that's something all these guys are dealing with, right?
Yeah. So that's a problem, but that would be the 1994 equivalent of we can't keep our kid out of jail. Like we can't keep him out of real trouble. You'll notice headlines about players getting arrested has fallen off a cliff.
Well, they don't drink.
They're very anecdotal exceptions. I know that. But no, hardly any kids get in trouble anymore. I kid you not, I had a defensive coordinator in the Big Ten last year say, dude, just between us, I'd love for our kids to get a little closer to the edge. Like, I wish they would get in a little more trouble. We've got like future librarians walking around the hallways, and this is like a playoff caliber team. So what you'll think, oh, did character issues and flaws disappear? No, they just got rechanneled. Now your character flaw is not, I got to call at 3:00 this morning. Our kid got arrested because he was out at the bars too late. Now it's, this kid's battling for my quarterback spot. He's off in the corner. He's on his phone. I cannot keep this from in front of his face. It's an addiction. It's not just, kids and their phones. I'm talking, this is the first wave of kids coming through your program who have been like this since they were 5 years old. No one's dealt with this before. It's the first generation. It's the first wave of that. So phone addiction is a huge problem. As dumb as it sounds to someone who's 52 years old, just driving to work in Houston, it's a huge problem. Belichick will hear that. And his instinct will be the same as Kirby Smart's instinct. He'll think, be that as it may, I think there are 25 kids out there per cycle that we can take that buck that trend. We're already looking for the exceptions to the rule in recruiting. We'll go find 25 of them. And John, Kirby Smart will, because he gets his pick. That goes back to what I'm telling you or what I'm asking you. Do you think Bill Belichick, if the expectations are higher there now, do you think he can go out recruit the big dogs for the very limited supply of legitimate, like high caliber players there are per cycle? Or can you go mine the portal for former 3-stars who were overlooked that are at New Mexico or Fresno right now? And hats off to him if he does. It is an uphill battle to be able to do that every single year.